The Kansas City Chiefs are looking to make history by becoming the first team to ever win 3 straight Super Bowls. And it's interesting that their streak started just 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57 against the Philadelphia Eagles, who they will now face off against in Super Bowl 59. So will history repeat itself? Will the Chiefs get another narrow, exciting victory over the Eagles, or will they fall just short? We will give that official prediction tomorrow. But today, we are here to give you 3 reasons why the Chiefs will win Super Bowl 59 and make NFL history. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today as we continue our Super Bowl coverage. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to our exclusive expert picks, our weekly newsletters, tons of exclusive content that will help you get through this offseason, because while the football season as a whole will come to an end on Sunday, it will not come to an end here at our channel. We are constantly talking football with you here at the Gridiron Expert. We'd love for you to become a member of our GE Nation by subscribing, hitting that notification button, checking out our website, and again, just getting your daily football fix right here with us. So let's jump into this thing. Very, very excited for the Super Bowl matchup. If it's anything like the first one we saw back in Super Bowl 57, we are going to be in for a treat. But there are 3 major reasons that I'm looking at here why the Chiefs can win this game. There's a lot, but today we're just going to focus on 3. The first one is Kansas City's ability to take care of the ball. It has been very, very impressive. Did you know the Chiefs have turned it over just 1 time in their last 9 games? And that was in their last game against the Bills. They turned the ball over once in that game, in the AFC Championship game. You know, the offense really hasn't been lighting it up this year. They're not lighting up the scoreboard. Patrick Mahomes has had a mediocre season, 26 touchdowns to 11 interceptions in the regular season. This is not the offenses of years past for Kansas City, but they're still getting the job done. And a major reason for that is because they really aren't beating themselves. They're really not forcing a lot of mistakes on themselves. They're not giving their opponents many extra opportunities. I mean, 1 turnover in the last 9 games is absolutely amazing. And so the battle I'm watching out for is, can the Chiefs continue to do that? Can they take care of the football again? 1 more game where they just don't turn it over at all? Or will the Eagles, who have forced 10 turnovers in the 3 playoff games alone, find a way to get a steal, a pick off of Mahomes, a strip sack, whatever it may be, and then convert off of that? So that's the battle I'm watching out for. Do the Eagles continue their defensive dominance, or do the Chiefs continue to take great care of the ball? The turnover battle is something you're really going to want to monitor. That was a major difference in this matchup 2 years ago. If you remember, the Eagles had a lot of momentum. We're at 14-7. Hurts fumbles. It's returned all the way by Nick Bolton. Tied the game up. Ended up being a huge difference maker in a game the Chiefs only won by 3. So that was like the lone turnover in that game. The Chiefs took advantage of it. Will that happen again now? Maybe this time for the Eagles, or will the Kansas City see again history repeat themselves? So that is the battle there. Taking care of the ball, Mahomes taking care of the football is massive, and they've been doing a great job of that for the last couple months. Number 2. Kind of an obvious one here, but it's experience and the Chiefs' ability to close games. That sounds cliche. It sounds obvious. Maybe not like a big X factor here, but I think it speaks levels. This is the Chiefs team that has won 12 of their 15 games this year by 1 possession. That's pretty unheard of, to win that many consecutive 1-possession games that come down to the 4th quarter, games where maybe they were down a little bit and were able to battle back. Some would say those were decided in controversial fashion. Some maybe not. They had the big blocked field goal against the Broncos. They had the made field goal off the post against the Chargers. They had a double-digit comeback against the Chargers. They've had their moments there where the experience and just the calm and collectedness of this team has helped lead them to victories. You've got one of the most experienced and best quarterbacks in the league, and obviously maybe in history, in Patrick Mahomes at your disposal. You've got Travis Kelce, who hasn't been as big of a star this year as he's been in years past, but is a great safety net for Mahomes and always seems to show up out of nowhere in these big games, right? Quiet regular season, big postseason for Travis Kelce. We've seen that these last few years. You've got Spagnuolo's defense. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Andy Reid in the Andy Reid Bowl, coaching against his former team in the Eagles, obviously has been here before. He's been in the situations before, more so than anybody on the Eagles side. Yes, the Eagles were here just a few years ago, but the collectiveness of the experience that Andy Reid and this Chiefs team has, now playing in their 3rd straight Super Bowl compared to only 1 for guys like Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and guys like that, is obviously going to trump that. That experience is going to trump that. The Chiefs' ability to know we can come back from down 10 points. They were down 10 points 2 years ago against the Eagles and managed to come back and win that game. We can handle a game where we're tied in the final moments and go on to win the game, like we saw last year against the 49ers, where they ended up winning the game in overtime. There's so much experience and collectedness and the ability to win and close out games that gives, I think, the Chiefs a bit of an edge there. Maybe even more so of a mental edge. Maybe the pressure is really on Jalen Hurts. If the game's on him, 2-minute drive, can Jalen Hurts deliver? Patrick Mahomes, you're banking on him delivering because we've seen this so many times before. So that's a huge aspect here that people don't talk nearly enough about. They don't talk too much about the experience edge. They don't talk too much about the fact that the Chiefs have won multiple times this year in the closing minutes. That takes a lot of guts, but obviously all of those experiences culminate into one singular game in the Super Bowl, one that I do expect to be relatively close. The final reason the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl, and I'm sure we will get criticized heavily for this, but I think we'd all be remiss to not address it, is the officiating. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think the Super Bowl is rigged. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think the season is rigged. But I do think that a lot of it can be chalked up to a little bit suspicious and definitely odd. And I don't think there's any denying the fact that when there is a close game, when there is a big moment in the game, the calls typically go in favor of the Chiefs more so than any team that we've ever seen. And that I don't think can be disputed. Dating back to 2021, the Chiefs have played in 12 playoff games. And in 11 of those games, the Chiefs have been called for less penalties and had less penalty yardage than their opponent. In 3 Super Bowl victories for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, the Chiefs' offensive line has not been called for a single holding call. That does not happen. It just doesn't happen. You can sit there and say it's because the Chiefs are more disciplined. It's because they're better. Whatever you want to say. But I don't care if you are more disciplined. You do not go 3 Super Bowls without a singular holding call. You do not go 3 Super Bowls with consistent controversial calls on your side. It just doesn't happen. And we've also seen this in the regular season. We also saw this in the AFC Championship against the Bills. That's been the talk for the last 2 weeks about how controversial that game was with the Xavier Worthy catch and the 4th down stop on Josh Allen and the mystery flag on the Josh Allen prayer to Kincaid. There was a flag on the ground, but when it fell incomplete, no one called it. A lot of mystery, a lot of suspicions, a lot of conspiracy surrounding what we've seen from the Chiefs, not just this year, but over the last few years for this franchise. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the rest of the reason the Chiefs will win or could win or anything, but there is a factor that we have to consider here. We saw that in Super Bowl 57. It was a tight game, 3rd and 8. Defensive holding on Philadelphia allowed the Chiefs to run out pretty much the remainder of the clock before kicking the chip shot field goal to win 38-35. Bradbury came out later and said, "Yeah, it was holding. I'll take credit. I held him." But it was one of those calls where it was like, do you really call that? Would the officials have called that if the roles had been reversed? If the Chiefs had held in that situation, would that same call have happened, or would they have let it slide? That's another question. We saw a controversial ending back in Super Bowl 57. In that game, the Chiefs were called for 3 penalties for 14 yards. The Eagles were called for 6 for 33, including that defensive holding, as we mentioned. Against the Bills, 5 for 21 for the Chiefs, 6 for 48 for the Bills in that AFC Championship game, along with a handful of other controversial calls. So it might not even be penalties. It could just be calls, like the 4th down, like the catch. Is it a catch? Is it not? Roughing the passer, like we saw in the Texans game. That's the thing, right? The Chiefs are a dang good football team. They've got a great quarterback in Mahomes. They've got one of the best coaches to ever do it in Andy Reid. They are absolutely phenomenal. But more times than not, in the clutch, the calls seem to go the Chiefs' way more so than any other team out there. And again, 12 playoff games since 2021, 11 of them where their opponents have been called for more penalties and more yardage than the Chiefs, no holding calls in their 3 Super Bowl victories. That is not correct. That is not right. That does not happen, regardless of how good or how disciplined you are. So if the game ends up being close on Sunday, you have to watch out for those officials and hope they will call a fair game. Hope that if the penalty is called or is not called, that it truly is the right call and not left up to speculation, not left up to controversy. People will say it will be. We'll just have to wait and see. But I do believe that the refs will play a major role and have played a major role on this run. And again, we can only hope that we do not see that on Sunday. So guys, there you have it. 3 reasons why the Chiefs can win Super Bowl 59. They take great care of the football. They've got the best experience out there. They are phenomenal at closing games, and they do get quite a bit of favorable calls that if the game came down to the wire, you could probably bet the Chiefs will benefit some way or another. Hopefully that will not be the case. If they win, I hope it's fair and square with no controversy at all, but time will tell. We will have our official predictions for Super Bowl 59 coming your way tomorrow right here on the channel. But in the meantime, leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let us know what you think about the Chiefs' chances in Super Bowl 59. Will they three-peat or will they fall just short? We can't wait for this game to get going on Sunday and, of course, to have coverage every step of the way. So, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to our expert picks, home to our newsletters, home to tons of exclusive content to help get through this offseason. Because while the season may officially end on Sunday, it will never end here at our channel. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification button, become a member of our GE Nation. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.